Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome to Cam and M play Dungeons and Dragons Stormlord's Wrath with me. I'm Cam, and my wife, the one, the only, the bae, Emily.
No.
Yes,
No.
we're not doing this again. We rehearsed this.
No, we didn't.
Okay. Yes, so this is our weekly streamed game where Emily and I play Stormlord's Wrath, which is the first of 3 continuation adventures for Dragon of Icespire Peak, which is the adventure that is available in the Dungeons and Dragons Essentials kit for 5th edition. What are you doing? You're making noises. You're
I'm sorry.
Scratching around for making all the noise. I just enjoy teasing you. It's why a DM.
But I thought you didn't want to DM anymore. I thought you wanted to be a player.
When did I say that?
No, it's not that you don't want to DM.
Yeah,
It's that you
I was
want
about
to
to
be
say
a player.
I want more opportunities to play. Doesn't mean I don't want to DM. DMing is I would say I prefer DMing to playing, but I want more opportunities to play so I can get more experience on that side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got,
Anyways, we've derailed.
yeah, well, you've only got yourself to blame for that, haven't you?
What? I can't believe this.
Just calling you out like this. It's because I spent the whole pre-show roasting myself. Now it's time to flip the table and start roasting you for a bit. Roasting you for over how cute you are.
No. Shut up.
Yes, so we do this every week. We stream it on Twitch over on my channel, twitch.tv/croverload. Although you are likely watching this on the VODs, which are available on YouTube. Either way, you are very welcome, and we hope you have a good time. How are you doing, Emily?
I am tired. I didn't sleep well again last night, but that's just how it's gonna be for the week.
Yeah.
Because I'm back at my day job in a new role, and at least this week I have to get up super early.
Yeah. It's good though. Just stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fair enough. I've got one announcement before we start, which is unfortunately for those of you that are at the pre-show, I'm going to bore you with this again. However, the lovely folks who organised the RPG Writers Workshop have released several bundles on the DM's Guild, all comprised of content that was created for the RPG Writers course summer 2020. And if you make your way over to bundle number 1, you will find a very familiar thing. You'll find my adventure, Grim Exhibition, a 3 to 4 hour adventure designed for third level characters. Right there it is. The bundle is somewhere in the region of about $50, and you get like 23 adventures that have been painstakingly written by like new and burgeoning writers such as myself. If you decide to go ahead and get the bundle, not only are you getting loads of cool stuff, but you will also get a Grim Exhibition at half price. It's normally $2, but I reduced it down to $1 for the bundle, and you would be doing a lot to support the writers of the future, hopefully, and maybe I'll be one of them. Who knows? So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna do a video about it probably next week, and yeah, very 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 exciting stuff. Cool. So with that all out of the way, I'm going to minimize the chat. I'm just gonna hide Streamlabs altogether. But first of all, I'm going to change the scene because I'm very good at forgetting to do that. Bring that up. Make sure it's all. Oh, it's all working nicely. You're not at the Tower of Thalavar anymore, though. Where are we? Where are you, moreover?
I'm hiding.
I'll put you over there, because that's kind of where I decided that your house is. Okay, so I haven't really got an introduction prepared for this session because we kind of rounded things off quite nicely last week. So how about you give us the rundown of what happened last week? You knew it was coming. Like I could sense the anticipation from the other room.
No, it was the moment you were like, I haven't really got anything prepared, so, and then I was like, oh no, he's gonna ask me. Okay, so, after our scary encounter with Thalavar's ghost the first time, Durabel and Quinn met up with Galio and managed to convince him to not sleep in the tower for the night. And then the next day, they regrouped, and after a little excursion to try and gather some information, Durabel, Quinn, and Galio went back into the tower, and just to make a long story short, they basically held a seance and summoned Thalavar and managed to get him to acknowledge, what happened, like what had happened to him and his, how he wasn't like a banshee or anything. He was basically a ghost who hadn't realized that he was dead. So we had to convince him of the truth, and he moved on peacefully. And then I buried him next to the remains of his fairy servant that I had found earlier. We buried those outside. And then I had another brief spooky encounter with a different ghost, but it seemed like a good thing. Like they seemed happy that Durabel basically gave the rights to Thalavar.
Yeah.
And that's where we left off.
There you go. So we'll say that some time has passed since then, maybe like a week or so, and it's been fairly uneventful. What now with some downtime? What do you reckon Durabel would be up to? Kind of just if left to her own devices in Leilon.
Well, at first I imagine in the beginning she probably was sort of just wandering about, kind of being a presence, because she kind of had a suspicion, like it's that whole thing of like, well, something's gonna happen, so I might as well be up and about, ready for it.
Okay.
But
so she's anticipating something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, she would be spending the time. I think as the week would go on, though, she would feel a little bit weird that nothing's happened.
Yeah, she's like, it's been a day. Normally there's been like an attack, like the undead or a kraken or something has shown up by this point.
Talos is up to something, and something's usually going on, and it's been a quiet 2 days.
Yeah. So when that kind of passes, what does she do? Like, I'm just curious. Like a good 3-4 days pass, and nothing's happened. Like she's just wandering around. People are saying hello. People are kind of getting to know you a little bit.
Yeah,
like even Yoram seems a bit like he still obviously detests you.
Yeah.
But like he kind of gives you a nod of acknowledgement, like Durabel. Like when you like a colleague that you don't like, but you have to be cordial with them.
So you're just like, right?
Yeah,
right,
it's easier to feign friendliness than be adversarial.
Well, I imagine that maybe by day 3, Durabel would have been like, well, do you guys want any help with anything? Do you need an extra pair of arms and stuff? And I think if there's nothing coming up, I think she might actually put a little bit of effort into the house.
Okay. Well, explain that to me then. Like what? Because the house is basically bare at this point. You've not really done anything with it, and with it, with it being one of the first houses that was like fully repaired and completed, like among the first wave, it's not like the best. It's quite small and it was quite hastily put together. But you know, it's a house at the end of the day. It's more than Durabel could ever claim to have had before now. Everything else has belonged to her family, so
yeah, I think she would I think she would start just kind of, because if it was sort of, you know, put together, I'm not saying like it was built like in a hurry, but like I think she would start like, you know, making sure that it's not going to blow over in the wind, kind of like maybe just reinforce it a little bit more, maybe actually get some furniture that isn't just like a bed and the table.
okay.
Like maybe she'll get, maybe if there's an opportunity, maybe she'll like get like a rug or an animal pellet or something to throw down and kind of just start. I imagine it's probably a little bit awkward because she's always been traveling up until this point. She probably still feels a bit awkward about making it like like she could live in it. But I think there's that part of her that's like, you know, if I make it look really nice, then if I move on, then I can sell it and somebody will have like a really good house.
At least I can. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's not really placed her mark on it as such. Yeah. It's more just she's done it up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a fixer-upper almost.
Yeah. Would she have any kind of I don't know, anything to do with Moradine in there, like a little shrine, or like would she do anything like that, or does she prefer to keep it all on her person?
If she did have a little shrine to Moradin, I mean, she might, like, if there's like a fireplace with a mantle, like a simple mantle, just like the frame order, she might put a little bit something there. But if she was going to have something that she was going to pray at, it would probably be in her room.
Right.
In private, like, so she could do it in private, essentially. Especially if Quinn's living there with her. It's not that he'll make fun of her if she's doing it, but I guess it's just she feels more comfortable if she's in private. Yeah. Like, kind of, if I'm alone, then if he reaches out to me or if he speaks to me, then, you know, I can hear him better, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Cool. All right. So you're doing that. It's been about 4 or 5 days at this point. And I think after Durabel is kind of finishing off, maybe getting like a new table brought in or something, there's a knock at the door.
Is Quinn anywhere? Where's Quinn been these couple of days?
You have no idea where he's probably gone to get pissed somewhere.
Okay, well, yeah.
He'll turn up. He tends to like, I think you get the impression that he wants... Make an insight check. Go on, just we'll make like a general insight check to see how...
Oh, not very good.
No?
No, 5. No, wait. Insight.
Yeah.
10.
I was going to say, 10 on insight. You get the impression that he generally only comes here to check in on you, see how you're getting on. But he tends to kind of avoid this space. I'll give it to you with a 10. It seems like he's making an effort to kind of give you space.
Oh, okay.
Give you some time to be on your own, because he knew you from back in the Boulder, and he knows that you are quite a private person and you enjoy your own company. And I guess now that an opportunity has presented itself where he can basically go off and do his own thing while you have your own space, he quite likes doing that. He does sometimes appear face down on the floor of the living room after a night of heavy drinking in the morning. Sometimes though, Durabel will just kind of like come out of the bedroom and he's just there, like.
She probably just like wakes up and like steps over him.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, okay.
Maybe that's it. Maybe this is like early in the morning of like day 5 of your downtime, and you hear the door going, and then you walk in, and Quinn's just face down on the ground. Durabel like steps over him. Would she step over him, or would she get him up?
She would step over him.
Okay.
She'll get him up if it's needed, but she's just gonna. She knows that as soon as she starts trying to wake him up, he's gonna start complaining and whinging, and she's like, "I'll just let him be for a bit
deal
longer."
with that later.
Yeah.
So you open the door, and so being a dwarf, like I've just got this idea in my head of like, you don't know who's behind the door. Would Durabel assume that it's somebody larger than her, being kind of well, not larger, but taller than her? Would she like open the door looking up, ready to meet eyes with whoever's on the other side of the door? Or would she just...
I think so, only because I don't recall there being many dwarves besides her brother and Grizzelda here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the halfling girl.
Scylla, yeah.
Scylla, yeah, but I don't recall there being very many people on the shorter side. So I think she would be sort of expecting
a lot of humans.
Someone a bit taller.
You've got Valdi, who's an elf. So yeah, there's a lot of tall folk. And now there's a load of lizard people as well.
Yeah.
So she's opening the door looking up, assuming that it's going to be somebody taller than her. And to your surprise, you look up, and then there's nobody there, and you glance down, and you see at your eye level it's Grizzelda Copperwort, kind of the dark-skinned dwarf lady who's kind of always got a bit of a pout on.
Yeah, she's got a bit of resting bitch face.
A little bit, yeah, but she seems strangely relaxed. But she is here, which she's never done before.
Morning. What do I owe the pleasure, Grizzelda?
I've completely forgotten her voice. I'll just say, good morning. How have you been?
Not too bad. Did you want to come in for coffee?
No, it's fine. Oh. I've got things to do. I just wanted to come around, and tell you that I've organised a town council meeting later this afternoon, and I would like you to be there if at all possible. Yeah,
not a problem.
I've invited Kess as well, who if you don't remember is the leader of the lizard folk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about inviting them to join the council on a more official basis.
That's great.
I just there are still moments where their tribe and ours, I suppose, struggle to intermingle, but I think they've proven themselves to be worthy allies, and I think it's only fair that they're represented on the council.
And if anything, it seems like Ricky's really taken to mingling with them.
Yeah, he must
have some insights.
He's really enjoying spending time with them. I think it was, from what little I've spoken to Ricky, it's because he feels like they respect him and that he gives a shit. You know, they give a shit about him. Which, I mean, obviously we all do, but I think it's just one of those things where unless you see it, it's difficult, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But the reason that I'm asking you specifically is because we need to talk about the events that have surrounded the town over the past couple of months, particularly after hearing about what happened in Phandalin. I think we need to get our heads together and basically find out what our next move is.
Yeah.
I would like to do something before they get a chance to strike again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you'll definitely see me there then.
Okay, so I would take some time and just any think about any information, any clues, like any ideas that you might have about their movements and what they might be planning, their operations. Bring all that with you, and we will discuss in more detail in a couple of hours, maybe after lunch.
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. Thank you, Durabel. I'll see you then.
See you then, Grizzelda.
Okay.
Let her go.
Yeah, she closes the door herself, and
okay.
yeah, you kind of hear her heavy footfalls disappear back into the town.
Yeah, so Durabel is going to, one, she's going to get coffee going. Two, she's going to pull out. She's going to go into her stuff, and she's going to find the sketched map of the highlighted points.
Okay. The map that you got from the wayside, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of want to have a look at it, just kind of because I never really got a chance to look at it properly. Like I like got it and then shit came up. So I'd like to sort of study it a little bit and see if I can discern anything.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be valuable to show Grizzelda anyways, but I want to see if I can get any information out of it, like if I can discern anything prior to the meeting.
Yeah, of course. So the map is kind of rudimentary, and it seems to show various points kind of along the road of the Sword Coast. It seems to show, because one of them is the wayside, right? One of them is the wayside. One of them is the Tower of Storms, where you
the lighthouse.
Yeah, the lighthouse that you went to previously. There's a few kind of areas dotted around like that. There was one in Phandalin. So basically, it seems to match up with areas where you've witnessed their activity before, like the Circle of Thunder. It's there as well. You know, where you fought. What's his name now? Began with
the centaur dude.
Began with a G. I can't remember. But the
Granok.
Granok. Is it Granok? No, Granok was the anchorite. But funnily enough, Falcon's Place is on there as well.
Okay.
And yeah, I've got to find out now. That's going to really bother me. Gorthok. There we go. Gorthok, the Thunderboar. Yeah, so it's kind of all of those locations. So you get the make an investigation check for me.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Well, it's not looking good for me. That was a natural one.
Natural one. So you see all these points, and you're like, yeah, you recognize like this is areas where they've operated before, but you just don't get it. You're just like looking at it, and you're like, there doesn't seem, you can't see any kind of connective tissue between any of these locations. So like, none of this makes any sense.
Right. Okay.
And kind of as you're kind of like passing through it, you realize that the coffee's ready, and you also hear groaning from the living room.
Okay. I will go in there in the living room, and
Quinn is still face down. He's face down and groaning. He's just like,
I'm gonna use my foot to flip him over.
You flip him over, and he's kind of as his back kind of like flops over onto the ground. And he's just like,
morning. I need your help with something. So when you're a bit more conscious.
I went out with the guards. Those lads can drink. They taught me a song about Yoram.
What kind of song did they teach you about Yoram?
I can't remember. I just remember they were laughing at him because he's bald. And something about it not because he wants to be.
I'm gonna shake my head a little bit.
When I remember it, I'll tell you, because I feel like that'll be valuable ammunition to you.
Right. Okay. Well, when you've peeled yourself off the floor,
It's really nice down here. It's cool.
There's coffee.
Have you got any ale?
I probably picked up some ale when I went grocery shopping.
Or just some supplies in case he turns up and is just like, I want to go on the lash. It's time, Durabel. It's time for pre-drinks.
Well, Durabel's like, I'm gonna be here. Maybe I'll want a drink when I'm by myself.
I imagine Duradon's come over a couple of times as well.
Probably, yeah. I imagine she probably roped him into helping her with some of the fix-ups.
Yeah, probably. Well. In fact, he probably made the table.
Yeah.
Because he's a deft hand at that kind of stuff.
I mean, we come from a family of crafters, so I hope so. Yeah. Okay.
He got made fun. You remember he got made fun of a lot because he prefers kind of working with wood than working with stone. So his brothers were all like, you big girls blows. It's all about stone. It's like, yeah, but it's good, isn't it? So it was nice. It was nice that he got an opportunity from you to ply his craft. He's a bit of an everyman though. He dabbles in everything.
I'll just leave Quinn and I'm gonna sit at the table and enjoy maybe a little breakfast that I've thrown together or something.
You brew the coffee down here?
No.
Why not?
Because you'll spill it on the floor and then I'll have to deal with it.
Okay, hang on. And eventually, at some point, he will get up. But he'll do like, you know what Quinn's like? He'll really over-exaggerate it.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
I imagine Durabel's just sitting at the table, just like with the coffee, straight face. And Quinn's just like, oh my god, I'm dying.
I'm dying. This is worse than when the alien attacked me.
I'm never drinking again.
This is worse than this is worse than when the alien cut me in half.
Durabel just kind of is just. She's not feeding into it. She's just letting him do it.
He eventually gets on the chair, and he's just like, just limp. And then you just kind of see this little arm reach across and grab the coffee and just like. What have you been up to?
I fixed up the house, but you'll appreciate it more when you're probably not.
Why did you get 2 tables? That's what I'm interested in. Why are there 2? When did Duradon get here? Hey, bro.
Maybe you need to lie back down for a little bit more.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Duradon, hold this, and he just passes the coffee across the table.
I think I'm gonna need to pick up a map of the Sword Coast area.
Why is that?
Store. Well, I've got these scribbles from the Wayside Inn, patterning the same, like following the same order, sort of as the Talos attacks, and I'm going to a town meeting later to talk about all that stuff, and I was trying to figure out if there was any connection with the map, if there was any sort of pattern or anything. But I can't fucking read it. It's just a bunch of scribbles to me. Whoever wrote this map was a shit cartographer.
Oh yeah, they're cultists. They're not cartographers. Go ahead and make an investigation check, because like Quinn will slide it over. Make an investigation check for Quinn.
Okay. It's a good thing he can't get ones. Except for when he gets a 1 twice in a row.
Did you really? That's 3 natural ones in a row.
Yeah.
That's insane. He just looks at it. He spills coffee on it.
I just grab it. I'm just like, you fucking idiot.
He does that thing where he's like, "Oh, look at this," and he like knocks the coffee over.
And I just like grab it as fast as I can to shake the coffee off of it. And
make a dexterity check.
oh, I might have to use a different D20 because this one's failing me tonight.
Just to see how covered this thing gets.
Oh, that's good. Did you say a dexterity save?
Just a check.
Oh, so is it just my dexterity modifier?
Yeah.
21.
21. Yeah. So you definitely like snatch it out. There is like some small stainage on the bottom left hand corner, but it's the map is undamaged. He's like, shit, sorry.
Well,
and he kind of like lifts up his shirt and starts like mopping it up with his shirt.
oh. Well, either way, I suppose I'll bring this to the meeting anyways. It'll still be valuable. Maybe someone there will have a better eye for it.
Did we get anything else?
What do you mean?
Like, we've encountered like loads of these fuckers. Have we had anything else? Like, have we really just got a map?
Durabel looks in the bag, and yes, that's all they've got.
I'm sure we picked up something off that redhead chick.
The ring?
No, the ring was what you got from the bar, right?
Oh, you're talking about in Fandolin.
Yeah, she was hot, and also a bitch, but you know. That they tend to come together sometimes.
I feel like we did take something off of her body, but my character sheet doesn't have anything of interest like related to it.
So you've probably forgotten to write it down.
It was like it wasn't a necklace, was it?
Nope.
What was it?
So you start to kind of have a route around. So you look in your bag. Yeah. You start kind of like rummaging around, being like, "Oh, but what do we got here?" And you find a let me get the notes, just so I get the description correct. Where are we? There was a small case, and when you pop the case open, there's a pair of lenses inside with a small note written in common, and the note reads, "The lenses show the secret of the map."
Well, that seems on the nose.
Yeah, funny that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out I'm gonna put the glasses on my face.
Okay, so you take the lenses and you pop them over your eyeballs, and you kind of like get the map that you got from the Wayside Inn. You lay that back down, making sure that it's away from any potential coffee stains. And as you put the glasses on, like when you first tried these on after you've got them, they had no effect. They were just probably the reason why you didn't write them down is because, as far as you were concerned at the time, they were just normal glasses. I don't think you realized the connection because you had the map before this point already.
Yeah, probably.
So you glance through and you kind of look around the room, and yeah, they just look like straightforward lenses. They're not even corrective in any way. It's just like glass.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think you did do a detect magic, and there was a very, very faint hint of magic on them. And kind of as you remember that, and you glance down towards the map, you notice that there is an area kind of down past where the Mirror of Dead Men is, and kind of like that the more kind of wild, cliffy area of the Sword Coast, there is an area that you would vaguely know is called the Thunder Cliffs, just because of the general inclement weather that's around that area. And it's basically got circles and arrows all over it.
Like major target sort of thing.
They aren't, like, if you take the lenses off, it's not there. Put the lenses on, it's there.
Right. The Thunder Cliffs. I know? I probably don't know much about them. I'll have to
roll a history check.
Well, here's all my big rolls now. History. 21.
21. So you vaguely know that the Thunder Cliffs kind of fall along kind of one of the major trade routes around like the Sword Coast, because it follows along past Leilon and then all the way up to Neverwinter, and it kind of is along that line, staying close to the shoreline. The reason why the Thunder Cliffs are particularly well known is because, like I say, there's generally inclement weather around there. Just the weather patterns seem to be always rough. But there's a network of caves that kind of go underneath the cliffs. So a lot of sailors use that as a haven against some of the worst storms that appear in that area. Yeah, right, okay. But it's not like people don't live down there, it's just sort of an area that... It's just like a hidey hole that people use to shelter from storms and that. And there have been some like stories about how pirates use it, and like there are like illicit activities do take place there from time to time. But from the stories that you've heard, most there seems to be like an what did you get for your roll again? It was like 20.
21.
It was over 20, so I'll tell you this. Yeah, it's fine. There's like an unwritten rule, like almost like an unwritten like agreement between all sailors, no matter what their persuasion is, that's a safe space. Like, you don't rat on what's going on down here, and we won't kill you. This is for us to shelter from the storm and nothing else. Right.
So there's potential that if there are Talos cultists, there's a potential that they're down there targeting people. Maybe. Either way. With all the places that are marked, besides the Thunder Cliffs, have I been to all of the spots?
Yes. All the ones that you kind of glance through, and there aren't any that you don't recognize.
Okay.
Like there are a couple a bit further up, but they're not anywhere that's like reasonably accessible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the activity seems to be further down here anyways, like around because it seems like they're going for the
like a lot of the interest seems to be in this particular area.
Yeah.
And now that you look at it again, it does seem like the pattern is kind of there's a lot clumped up in this area, and then they get more spotty the further out from the Thunder Cliffs you get.
Well, they talked about spreading their influence, so I suppose this would be the pattern of spread. So by that logic, that's probably the epicenter of where they are and what they're up to, or maybe it's just
cool. Let's go kill him. Let's go kill him.
Well, first we need to pass on this information to the council and see if they've got anything of note, because they know this area better than we do.
You would also know with that check, the history check, there is no reasonable way to get there other than by sea.
Shit.
Because you could potentially get there going through the Mere of Dead Men, but considering that in your small
What happened last time,
your small foray into the Mere of Dead Men, you were attacked by a lot of trolls, one of which was quite intelligent. And there's all sorts of like rumors of like nasty shit in there. And then once you get through the Mere of Dead Men, it's like a sheer drop down the cliffs into the sea.
I'm not really keen on the idea of sailing down there, but let's take this to the meeting and at least see what happens.
Okay.
And
You
also
go.
buy a map.
You go. You do that. I'll stay here and hold the fort.
Recover.
I'll protect the place.
Yeah,
I'll be his bodyguard.
Okay, you do that.
Yeah.
Just like pat his head and go.
Quid I topple dragons then. Yorum's bald. Yorum's bald. And that just continues.
Until I'm gone. Yeah,
Also, the irony of making up on the fly a parody song about a guy that's going bald against his will. The irony is not lost on me.
Okay, now. Okay. How much time do I have before this meeting? I mean,
we can say that you've got a little bit of time. You can go now. I'm keeping this light and fluffy. If you want to go straight to the meeting, we can do that.
I was just gonna see if I could pick up a map and then go, just to have a map on me.
You can get a map of the Sword Coast. I mean, you Emily know what the Sword Coast looks like.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them being expensive.
I don't have a lot of money to my name at the moment.
Case. Oh, that's a map case, not a map itself.
Not a map.
Where the Sword Coast? No, that's GM stuff. We'll just say like, I don't know, 5 silver pieces.
Cool.
Roughly, and you can get that from anywhere. You could even go to Aubrey's if you wanted to. He'd have a map.
I'll get it from Aubrey.
Yeah.
Then.
You come in and he's like, oh, very pleased to see you. Looking forward to kind of like pushing some like big thing on you. He's like, oh, look, I found this, and it's like a very ornate looking, but obviously just plain stone like carving. He's like, it's clearly like from an ancient civilization. It's all magical and amazing. Look at it, and you're just like, yeah. Have you got a map?
Out of curiosity, can I? Because I'm good. I'm good with the stoneworks. Can I sort of like? Because if I can easily discern that it's just like a nicely carved rock.
Yeah, you're good. You're good with, because of your stone cunning. We'll just go ahead and say you immediately recognize that it's not really anything special. Yeah, it's just like a nicely.
Does it look cool?
I mean, it's just like a neatly polished stone. Kind of basic. It's got like maybe like what looks like a dragon's claw kind of holding onto it, like dug in slightly. So that's pretty cool. I think it might have once been part of the Tower of Thalavar, which probably means it contains extraplanar magical energies. It doesn't. You already can tell that it doesn't.
I just go, well, I might have to come back to give that a look, but for now, I need a map.
And you just kind of like seem like, oh, yeah.
I haven't had much work since my last big purchase.
Have you used the potion yet?
No, but I'm hoping that in this potentially upcoming battle that I'll be able to use it.
You have to tell me how it goes. I'm really curious to know.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
me looking at the potion just to see what it does again.
Do you want a map of the Sword Coast? Do you want a map of Icewind Dale? Of Waterdeep? Where are you going? Are you going on a trip?
Just the Sword Coast is fine for now.
Good, because that's the only one that I've got.
Oh, perfect.
And he hands you like a very kind of flimsy scroll case that contains a map of the Sword Coast.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I'll hand him the money and then be on my way to the meeting.
Mm-hmm. So the meeting, Grizzelda would have told you this, but I didn't tell you this. The meeting is taking place at the fishery in Valdi's office. It's kind of been renovated a little bit, and Valdi now has like a closed off office, and in lieu of having an actual town hall where they can have these meetings, they just need somewhere private. So so you go to the fishery and you meet up with Valdi, and her kind of cocksure smile and her kind of like long elf ears that are kind of like tinged turquoise at the end, and a kind of shark tooth smile, and she's just like, "Hello, Durabel, long time no see."
Yeah, it's been a while. How have things been around here?
Very, very good. I'm glad you asked. Yeah, we're doing excellently over here. Grizzelda told me that she was going to invite you to this meeting. I must say I was rather looking forward to it. How have you fared? Where have your journeys taken you recently?
Well, we recently just went back to Phandalin for a little bit. Had a bit of a rumble up there, I guess, if you will, before heading back. But otherwise, this past week has been pretty uneventful, shockingly.
Oh well, sometimes no news is good news. I've never been to Phandalin before. What's it like?
It's very nice. The people are very friendly. It's great. It's a nice little town. The mayor is a character, but he's well-meaning. I definitely recommend Barthen's Provisions.
Okay, it's a bit too far away from the water for my taste, really. But if I find myself needing to head down there, I will take that under advice.
Yeah.
And then, kind of as you converse, Grizzelda arrives with Cass, because like Cass doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Even though, hang on, have I got the name right? Kess, sorry, Kess.
Kess.
Even though Kess has lived here for a couple of weeks now, she shows them in. Yoram.
He's probably too busy doing work than to familiarize himself with like the office. Yeah.
Yoram arrives. Galio arrives. Who's like huffing and puffing about like driving me away from my work.
But does he look better than he did?
He looks like he's slept. He definitely looks like he has slept. And he kind of gives you like, he kind of looks at you and kind of gives you like a knowing like nod of appreciation, but immediately goes back to complaining. And Yoram's like, he doesn't need to be here. He's got work to do. And Grizzelda's just like, silence, shut up. This is we won't have a town left if we don't do something about this. So we got Yoram, we got Kess, sorry, we got Galio. Marigold arrives kind of fashionably late. He's got like a big smile on his face, and he's like kind of ashy blonde, kind of side shaved head. And he's just like, hey, good morning. Well, good afternoon, I suppose it is now. Maybe is it, which one's Lathander now? I was gonna say Lathander's title, but I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want legendary, I want Lathander. Me learning stuff about, he is the Morning Lord. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, may the Morning Lord's blessing be upon you as we move into the afternoon. It's a bit cramped in here, isn't it? Because I'll just like, it's the best space that I could find. Please make do. And you all kind of like awkwardly gather around the table. Kess is fine. Kess is just like,
he's just like, let's get this done.
Yeah, why are we here? And Grizzelda says like, right, well, I have brought you all here today for this emergency meeting. It has been some time before we've had an encounter with the cult of Talos. However, I am concerned that we haven't seen the last of them and that they're going to attack again. And after hearing word that they were active in Phandalin, which is only 3 days away from ourselves, not to mention they had excessive activity over in that area up until very recently, which was quashed thanks to our resident adventure Durabel here.
She gives a little nod.
I called us all over to see if we can come up with any ideas of some sort of countermeasures, because I will not be caught off guard again. So, I think the easiest thing to do, and she kind of looks over at you, and everyone else kind of like slowly looks over at you as well, says, Durabel, you've had the most encounters with these cretins. Have you discovered anything about their operations? What do they want? If we can understand their motives, then maybe we can try and circumvent them somehow.
Yes, right. Well, sorry, my glasses have fucked up while you were explaining. So Durabel just kind of she lays out her own map of the Sword Coast, because I'm assuming there isn't one on the table.
No.
So she's gonna lay out the freshly purchased map.
Okay.
And she's gonna be like, right, well, and she's gonna start pointing to the different spots, and she's gonna say like here and here is where, like, these are all the places I have had intense encounters with them, you know, like the Wayside, Phandalin a couple of times, you know, whatnot. But I think I don't know exactly what they want, but I do believe that they are trying to take control of the Sword Coast, based on the fact that they were trying to secure the Wayside Inn. They had the lighthouse secured, and I'm gonna pull out the map, like the scrawlings.
Okay.
And I'll pull out the lenses as well, just so, like, if somebody wants to look, they can. And I'm gonna say, like, when I was in Phandalin, I had an encounter with them recently, and we recovered this map, or this sketch, with these lenses. And if you look through the lenses, you'll see that the Thunder Cliffs are heavily noted down here, and based off the pattern, I think that's where they're either coming from, or they're either coming from there, or something big is going to happen there. But I suspect that they are working out of that spot and trying to make their way up the Sword Coast.
Valdi's kind of like, the moment that you mentioned the Thunder Cliffs, she kind of like gestures to take the lenses, kind of takes them off you and has a quick look through, and she's just like, yeah, that's the Thunder Cliffs, all right, and she passes them back. And Grizzelda's like, well, you know the waters better than anyone in here, Valdi. What do you think? And she's just like, well, if you're gonna hide somewhere, that would certainly be a place to do it. And considering the weather patterns around there, it certainly seems like the kind of place that people who worship storms would like to gather. It's not a friendly area, that. So I could definitely, if they've got some sort of hideout there, then I can definitely believe it.
Yeah, I see that it's only accessible either by going through the marshes and then somehow rappelling down the cliff, or going by water.
Yeah, the frustrating thing is that our rowboats won't be strong enough to get you there. They're not designed to go that far out. And if you encounter any form of storms, any of my fishing boats would get completely destroyed in that sort of weather. So she kind of like leans back and just bear with me a second, and she thinks for a moment, kind of not excuses herself, but she takes a step back from the crowding around the table,
Yeah, Durabel will let the others look at the maps and
everyone
stuff.
kind of like they pass the lenses around and like and Galio takes the lenses and he peers through and he's just like, oh, this rudimentary enchantment, and like passes it across. He goes, well, once the Tower of Thalavar is completed, I can surely erect some form of magical defenses to make sure that these ne'er-do-wells do not last long once they enter the city. And Yoram's just like, oh yeah, good idea, Galio. Yeah, that's great, that's fantastic. Yeah, magical defenses, that's good. Yeah, and Grizzelda's just like, well, fantastic, brilliant. But how does that help us now, Galio? How far off completing your research and the tower being rebuilt are you? Yoram, have you got an answer? And Yoram's like, it's going to be a couple of months yet. It's just like, well, what if they attack tomorrow then? And Galio's just like, well, I'm Galio Elibro, I'm Mage of Neverwinter, and it's just like, well,
I will attack
fat lot
them
of
personally.
fat lot of good that you've been. You know, you turned up late after an attack, and you know, then you were getting possessed by ghosts or whatever the hell was going on. We haven't got time for in a month when this is done, when that's done. We need to deal with this problem now. You know, we've been quite lucky to have a week, 2 weeks without any known activity, but for all we know, they could be preparing for something as we speak. Galio's kind of like, what do you think, Durabel? What are their patterns like? How do they act normally?
Well, if just DM question.
Yeah.
With the Wayside Inn, with the initial Wayside Inn attack, how did they describe that happened? Was it just that the zombies just sort of showed up, or what?
Or the zombie attack at the Wayside Inn?
Yeah.
They just appeared.
Oh yeah, they had a different symbol on them.
They did. They had the symbol of Makul, the god of death.
That's right. Okay.
Or is it the god of undeath? One of them.
I'm getting my wires slightly crossed. Okay.
Yes, because as a reminder, you encountered 2 suspicious figures in Phandalin.
Yeah, because there was the one that worshipped Makul and the one that worshipped Talos, and they were both like, "Hey, we're here first.
What are you doing here?" And then you made the vampire spawn shit himself and run away, and then you never saw him again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's gonna bite me in the ass later. From what I understand from my encounters with them, at least of those who aren't half orcs, or like who aren't like living out in the tribal sort of life, it seems like the recent converts that I've encountered have all been ingratiating themselves into wherever they are before the attack happens. At both the Wayside and Phandalin, the people who ended up causing the problems were people that were, by any account, they were friendly, they were approachable, they were well-meaning. They were just regular people. And then
what's your passive perception?
My passive perception.
Yeah.
15.
15. You hear Yoram mutter lizard folk under his breath.
The 2 that I encountered were it was a half elf and a human, wasn't it?
Which ones?
Okay, so the girl in Phandalin.
She was, I think she was a half elf.
And then the blacksmith lady, I thought was.
Oh no, Valine was an elf.
Valine was an elf. Oh, okay, so it was an elf and
a human.
And a human, right? Yeah. And I'll specifically I'll say, like, most of my encounters with worshippers of Talos have been orcs and half-orcs, but in more recent days it has been like I encountered a human and an elf, and it's not like it's uncommon for people of other races to worship him. I think my understanding that he is inclined to take any worshiper as long as they are as crazy as he is.
Yeah. You with your encounters with them and stuff, you would know by this point that he's all about chaos and destruction.
I mean, I have a sort of first-hand
Yeah.
encounter with the lightning bolt enchantment that I got.
Yeah, you've got that, and like the feelings that gave you. You've probably got quite an intimate knowledge of how their brains are wired. And then of course Quinn, you've got Quinn's account as well, where essentially it would have been pieced together that obviously your uncle worked with the cult, and they summoned Gorthok to destroy that farmhouse with Quinn in it. So they're all about just wrecking stuff, and of course the attack on Falcons as well. Like they just wanted to destroy it. They're all about that.
They're all about wrecking shit.
Yeah, like spreading their influence. And they like to use fear tactics and stuff like that. The fact that when Valine was in Phandalin, she was trying to indoctrinate one of Barthen's kids by basically saying that the storm is going to come and wipe everyone off the face of the earth unless you follow me.
But he could be saved,
yeah.
And I'll even relay a little bit of that as well to them.
Yeah, okay. And then Grizzelda's just
be like, in case it hasn't been understood by this point, I have something of a crusade against him, if you will.
Yeah, he's done enough at this point, hasn't he? Grizzelda at this point goes, yeah, well, I think I've heard enough. This makes it very clear that there's not going to be any reasoning with these zealots. If it's I think we need to organize a strike. We need to find out what they're up to and put a stop to it once and for all. If we're gonna see any peace in Leilon, they need to be stopped. We need to burn them out. And she kind of awkwardly looks to you and says, "I'm sure you understand what this means, Durable. Would you be willing to take up such a task?"
Of course, I am sure that any one of his worshippers would be more than ready to attack me and to gain his favor, because I'm sure that by this point he knows me by name.
Well, I mean, Valine knew you. She knew who you were.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, I'm sure that they would froth at the idea of getting a chance to fight me.
Seems perfect then. And at this point, Valdi kind of steps back up and goes, "Sorry, yes, I was just I had a feeling that the conversation was going to go in this direction as soon as you mentioned this. I know a couple of folks that while none of my fishing boats will be able to make their way to that side of the Thundercliffs, I know of a couple of sailors who have routes that pass by this area. Two in particular that I can think of that will be passing through in the next 10 days or so. They both owe me a favor, and as long as we're willing to pay them, they might be able to drop you off. What do you think?"
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that.
And Grizzelda just said, "I'd be happy to pay them. No amount of money is gonna well, it's not gonna mean anything if they manage to wipe Leilon off the face of the earth again. Or Faerun again."
Yeah.
And Valdi says, Okay. Well, I will. There's two that I can think of that are passing through. One's a bit of a character. The other's a bit of a bore. But they're both good people, and I'm sure they will be more than willing to make their claim, as it were, to try and convince you to use their services rather than the other. So, give me some time. I will flag them down, and I will let you know when you can meet them.
Very well.
Okay. And Grizzelda's like, right, does anyone else have any ideas? Any thoughts on this? There's kind of like an awkward, like palpable silence. Goes, right, okay, bugger off, back to work with you then. Thank you. And they all shuffle off. Galio's just like, oh, waste of my time.
Just out the door.
Absolute waste of my time. Yeah, he's already leaving at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Unless anyone's got anything else to
no,
say,
they all
just gonna gather up her stuff and go.
Yeah, they all filter out. You gather your stuff. You filter out as well. Grizzelda does kind of stop you and just say, you know, thank you again for everything.
I mean, of course. I mean,
we don't.
In a selfish way, it is my duty to stop them, but I am more than happy to help you guys.
We don't know exactly what they're up to, so if you find yourself out of your depth, please just come back. I would rather you come back alive with information than dead without.
Yes.
You know, in trying to do some heroic deed. I know you've got a vendetta against these, so have I. But you're more valuable to me than that. You're more valuable to Leilon than that.
I'd be giving them what they wanted if I went in over my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you looking out for me.
Good. You know, you may be an adventurer that's here kind of transiently, but as far as I'm concerned, you're just as much a citizen of Leilon than anyone else.
I've been maybe it's because Grizzelda is a dwarf that Durabel feels like she can say this, but Durabel's just like, I was displaced from my home and not really had anywhere else to call home, so I suppose the adventuring life was just sort of thrust upon me. But I guess I don't mind now, because not only have I been able to help people, but I can see that home is more than just where I grew up in the mountains.
You can see Grizzelda's expression kind of softens a little bit. Maybe it is that dwarven camaraderie.
Yeah.
And she says, when you get back, after all this is dealt with, I'd like to have a drink with you and your brother. If that's fine by you.
Yeah.
Not as just. I'd like to get to know the pair of you better.
I would be happy to have a drink with you.
Excellent. Right. Bugger off, you got work to do.
Yeah, right.
Prepare yourself for, I have no idea what characters that she vaguely gestures at Valdi that's already left. It's like, I have no idea. Like, I've seen some of her friends before that have come over for visits. They're not the kind of people that I would associate with, let's just say that.
Yeah, well,
sailors.
If I recall right, I've heard that sailors are an eccentric bunch.
Okay.
And I let her be.
So, it does take quite a long time, because obviously Valdi doesn't, like, she knows that they're due within the next 10 days or so.
But of course, sailing, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of end up doing more sitting around. And it's not until about 4 days pass. Of more nothing. I don't know if there's anything you want to do during those 4 days.
I've not really got much money, and I'm trying to think if there's anything that would be good for if we're going into these caves. I mean, we've got climbing gear, so we can sort of secure ourselves so we don't slip. You
could try and earn some money. We could say between now and like the other downtime that you had before, you could get a job. You did say that you were going to help out around the town.
Sure, I will. I'll help out where I can.
Okay, let me pull up.
Maybe I'll help Duradon with whatever he's doing.
Okay, let's have a look.
Provided I'm not getting in his way.
Okay, so you can make, well, you can justify it. So if you're helping Duradon with just like general repairs and kind of building work, then go ahead and make a strength athletics check for me. Unless you're doing anything specific.
No, I'm just generally helping him out. So okay. I'll just make the athletics check. Ooh, 21.
20. Whoa, you do an exceptional job. You in that time, it's a bit choppy.
It's the power of the twins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you and Duradon work really well together, and you kind of dart around. Like you kind of get a bit like, oh, you know, people are curious because they don't see you around town very often. Mm-hmm. But they know of you. Okay. So yeah, you managed to get loads of stuff done, and people are really impressed. And then by the end of the work week, Duradon says, "Well, I don't think I could have done half the stuff that we managed to sort out without you around. We actually got a bonus.
Oh.
I want you to have it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, as long as I can live my modest lifestyle, I don't need. Oh, I think you're going to need it more than I do." And he passes you 25 gold pieces.
Oh damn, nice.
I know it's not a lot compared to what you're used to killing dragons and that. But it'll hopefully it'll serve you well.
It will. All the money any money that I've earned has always ended up going back to somebody else or whatever. So, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Roll percentile dice for me.
Percentile? Oh. I got a 10 and a 0, which I'm assuming is 10.
So 10 exactly.
Like, yeah, like 10 on the percentile.
Yeah.
And 0 on the 10.
Okay.
So yeah, 10%.
Oh wow. Okay. Roll a d6 for me.
5.
Okay. That's fine.
What? Okay.
Just.
He just seemed so shocked that I rolled a 10%.
Yeah. Well, you know. That's for me. That's not for you.
Oh. If I had been rolling a divine intervention, that would have been almost a hit.
It's true. Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, I'll at some point as well have passed on to Duradon that when I get back from my next excursion, Grizzelda expects to drink with us.
Yeah, that's fine. He's quite happy with that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to speak with more dwarves. There aren't many around here. There's a few, but you know.
Yeah. Coming from a home where it was dwarves and halflings, and then it's just now it's all tall.
It's
folk.
a big mix. He's like, well, I try to speak to the lizard folk, but they're not really interested in conversation. And I mean, they're all polite enough, but I don't know. They just don't seem that engaged all half the time.
They don't really understand idleness. They're very much just straight to the point.
Oh no wonder Valdi likes them so much. Okay. So with that, yeah, so you got some extra money, and then at that time, kind of maybe the next day, Valdi comes to it'll be Scylla actually that comes to collect you, the young halfling girl that you helped to get a job with her.
Oh, I'm sure Quinn is over the moon to see her.
Quinn like is probably hungover again at this point, and he does that thing where like he's trying to like lean on the chair, like, oh hey, good to see you, like, you know, like overly leaning back, just like trying to look as chilled out as possible, just like, oh yeah, hey, we're just having a rest after our like daring adventures, you know. And then, but what's happened is he's leant back too far and he slides off.
Amazing.
She's like, yeah. Anyway, Durabel, Valdi wants to see you. There are a couple of sailors that said that they've made port, not too far away, and they're something about a trip. Are you going somewhere?
Yeah, we are going. We're going to be out of town for.
Yeah, we're going to go fight cultists. Woo! He says from the floor.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Scylla.
No, I can escort you there. And she does. She like walks with you. I've got to go back to the fishery anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. I like pull Quinn off the floor.
Yeah, just like drag him along behind you.
No, I do that thing where I like drag him a bit and then whoop,
yeah,
put him on his feet.
So the three of you make your way back over to the fishery, and Scylla kind of takes you back into Valdi's office, which has a very different atmosphere about it than when you were in here for the meeting. So Valdi's here, kind of like idly chatting with two figures, and as you walk in, Valdi's like, Durabel, and then she just kind of like gestures and says, "Here she is. This will be your quarry potentially." And then the two figures whirl around. One kind of like very tall, kind of broad-shouldered white dragonborn, who's kind of got like a very kind of stern-looking features, kind of like a squared-off nose almost. He's wearing like a navy blue sailing jacket and like this wide-brimmed fishing hat, and he just kind of like looks at you with like a nod of just like,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other figure whirls around, maybe a bit too far, and kind of stumbles a little bit. And she is a brown-furred tabaxi.
Amazing.
Wearing like her left ear, like her left cat ear, has got like a row of piercings, like a row of like gold rings, like all up the top. That kind of weighs it down slightly, so she's got a bit of an uneven like floppage going on. She's wearing like a nice shirt. She's got like a waistcoat on, and she's got like a red bandana situation on her head. She like whirled a little bit too far, and then has to like course correct and kind of sways a little bit. And Valdi's just like, this. Also her legs. So she's brown furred, but her legs all the way up to like halfway up her thighs is black. Like that's all black fur, but that's the only part of her that is.
Oh right, so she's not like a calico, but she's got like some spotting.
Yeah,
like black legs. Yeah.
So Valdi says, like, gestures to the white dragonborn and says, this is Christoffen. He's the captain of the ice flow. And Christoffen kind of is like, yep. And this, she says with kind of like a coy grin, is Stanzin Tar, who is a who is the captain of the Dancing Delight, and she gives like a very eccentric. She's like, "It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I'm a captain."
I'm getting Jack Sparrow vibes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Make an insight check.
16.
16. She is off her tits. She's just
drunk.
completely blasted. Like this is extreme Quinn levels of drunk.
Shit.
She can it seems like she can barely stand upright. But she is. Like, and her tail is like swishing around like crazy. She's looking at you with this massive toothy grin. Meanwhile, Christoffen is just like there, arms folded, just like shooting daggers at her. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you call yourself a captain? This is ridiculous. She's like, so, I heard that you need a lift.
I would like to get to the Thunder Cliffs. Yes.
What are you going there for?
To deal with
She's like right in your face.
I would say Durabelle's taken aback by the smell of alcohol, but she's probably too used to it.
It's the smell of like hard liquor as well.
Yeah.
It's got it. They've got it. That's what they drink out on the seas.
Yeah. I'm going there to deal potentially with some cultists.
What kind of cultists? Do they worship? They worship some kind of monster.
Do you know
some sea creature?
Talos.
Who's that then? Who are they the captain of?
They're the god of chaos and storms.
Oh, I knew that. And she whirls around again. Look, I'm not gonna mess around here. Christoffen, this lump over here, she's like got her arm around your shoulders at this point. She's like, he's gonna tell you that his ship is bigger and more sturdy and all that. That's not what you need, right? To get through this and get where you need to go. The Dancing Delight is small, it's nimble, can weave in, get wherever you need to go in half the time. We'll be in, zoom, you'll be in, do whatever you want to do with this Talos bloke. We can get out, have a nice drink, and get back to Leilon in time for tea. Way! What'd you say? Just say the word or go. And then Christoffen is like, I don't think I really even need to say anything. I think this creature has proven for me that I am the correct choice in this. You mean to go to the Thunder Cliffs, yes?
Yes.
The weather there is treacherous. You must surely know that.
I am to understand that I have never been there, but I am to understand it is quite terrible.
The ice flow has been designed to withstand sailing through the icy waters leading up as far as Icewind Dale. It is more than well equipped to deal with that kind of inclement weather. Well, needless to say, her dinghy, as well as her temperament, are not fit for that kind of job.
I imagine
she's like, what are you trying to say? You are drunk beyond belief. Is it so? It's not like I'm driving the thing. I'm just giving the orders.
I imagine the Tabaxi's sort of like doing that thing where she's like getting up in his face, but she's sort of woozy, so she's kind of moving around.
Yeah, she like gets right up in his face. Goes, you just think because you've got a big puffed out chest with all your scales in that, and she's like right up towards him and then staggers backwards twice as far, like past you, almost completely out of the office. Look, right? If I was sober, I'd be dangerous. He goes, I
look at Quinn when she says that.
I like her. I think she's great.
Oh, I knew you'd do that, yeah.
And I think she's leaning on him now. She's got like her elbow on Quinn's head. And
I think so short. She's probably got her hand on his head.
yeah, hand on head like that. She's got her elbow on your shoulder. She's got her hand on Quinn's head, keeping her stable. She's like, look, right, I'm just the captain. I've got a wonderful crew that are all insanely good at their jobs. There's only a few of them, so they're not going to make a fuss, because we're a smaller vessel. It'll be great. It's like a match made in heaven. Even though I don't know what that is.
Match made in the astral sea.
I read a book somewhere. Like, what do you say? And Christoffen is just like, yes, indeed. I don't think we should be wasting our time anymore on this. Why don't you just say the word and let's be off?
Well, I am to understand that you guys have a fee.
And Valdi just kind of pipes up and says, Grizzelda will cover that. Don't worry about that. We've already discussed that. They're getting you there and back will be paid for.
See, I was curious as to who was if before Durabel got in here, if they were auctioning, you know what I mean?
They have been competing on price for a while, but I think we've hit a standoff. They're both offering the same price, so that really it's just a case of you need to choose who you think is the better fit for you. And then Stans in Tar is just like, come on.
I know who I would pick, which is pretty obvious, but I have to be Durabel, and I have to do what she would do. Sorry, I don't mean for the awkward silence. I'm just ultimately trying to decide on which one.
Stands in Tar is like playing with one of your braids, just kind of like flicking it, like one of your little like sideburn braids, just like giving it a little
my button chop braid.
Yeah, and kind of like tapping it like a cat would. This is great.
Man, this is so hard. Why'd you do this to me?
So it's there. This isn't me. It's sort of me.
I know, but I'd love to ask chat just to see what people would say. You know, because I imagine most people would say go with the cat because it's funnier.
What would Durabel do though?
Durabel would what was his name? Christoffen?
Christoffen.
She would go with Christoffen because not that she dislikes, was it Stans in Tar,
yeah.
But she's trying to serious mode. She's trying to, nothing against Stans in Tar. She wants to be sure she can get there and get back swiftly. Not saying that the dancing delight couldn't do it, but yeah, but
you're saying all this stuff. She's like, yeah, but there's nasty rocks by the cliffs. You got to be able to snake in and out through them. The ice flow isn't going to be able to do that. It might be able to plow its way through ice, but it's not going to plow through solid rock, is it? Unless it's got some freaky abilities that I don't know about. Christoffen, are you holding out on me? Christoffen's like, the The ice flow has no such abilities. It will, however, be able to withstand more punishment than your tiny thing.
Oh.
You can kind of glance outside as well. There is a window, and you can see they're parked a bit of a way down, but you can see there is a distinguishable like size difference between the two.
Oh, I'm sure Stans and Tar was like, ah, see, you can see her over there, oh, the dancing delight, you know.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Oh, this is so hard. I'm gonna look at Quinn, but I'm sure Quinn's already made his decision.
Quinn looks up at you, and he's just like, "What are you looking at me for? You know what I'm gonna say. What kind of what kind of stuff have you got on that ship?" And she kind of goes, "Well," and she like kneels down and whispers something into Quinn's ear, and Quinn just looks like, "We have to go with her. We have to."
Why?
Are you serious? She's like, "Yeah, you can have some. Just a little bit though. It's expensive." And then Christopher's like, "You're trying to bribe them. I don't appreciate that." She's like, "I'm not doing that. He asked the question."
Oh my god, this is genuine trouble. I might have to roll a die for it.
Okay.
And leave it to the power.
Leave it to Talos. Is that what you're saying? Let Talos decide.
Oh, I can't do that now. Now that you've said that.
Leave it to Timora. There you go. Goddess of Luck.
Okay.
So what's the metric?
I'm gonna roll a d6.
Yeah.
1 to 3 is Christophin. 4 to 6 is Stanzentar.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's a 6.
Well, we know where Timora wants you to go now.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Durabelle does have like a moment where she does like a little prayer in her head. And she's like, "Gods help me, I have no idea what to do in this situation." And then tomorrow's just like, "Cat."
Go with the cat.
I am going to say, I appreciate both of you taking time out of your busy schedules to aid me in this endeavor. I get the impression, Christophin, that you want to be quick back onto your.
You
like,
say
I get the he gives me the impression that he doesn't want to do this. Like, he'll do it, but he's kind of like, I want to get going.
Well, so when you say his name, there's almost like the assumption that you're gonna pick him. Yeah. So he kind of like puffs his chest out, like, "Ah, yes, as I thought." And then you say that, and his expression kind of falters a little bit, and he says, "Well, a job is a job. You really mean to tell me that you mean to travel with this disaster of a creature?"
And I'm sure Quinn and her are already out the door.
Pretty much almost there. Yeah, she's got like a what do you call it? Like a little flask, and she's just like, "I'll give you a little bit now."
Oh my god, I feel like you're making me feel bad for doing this, because Well, no,
I'm
you're
not. I'm not.
making.
I'm not doing
You're not
anything.
doing it. I left it to fate. I left it to the dice, and the dice said I'm going with the cat.
Yep.
And it's really hard to rationalize it because Durabel would pick Christoffen. I feel bad, but no, I'm gonna go with my gut as Durabel because I think Durabel would feel more comfortable. She's been on a lot of crazy adventures, but if she's got the option, she's gonna want to take it safe. So, despite what the dice said, I'm gonna go with Christoffen.
Okay. So, well, go on then.
Yeah, maybe she takes another second to think while the other two are outside drinking. No. I have to go in, and she's gonna say this like basically what I said. Like, I'm gonna have to go with my gut. Christoph, I'd be happy to sail upon on the ice floe.
He takes a second and goes, "Good. Are you certain?"
Yes.
Excellent. Then, let's not delay. Let's leave right away. And he kind of like turns and nods to Valdi, and Valdi looks a little bit disappointed. But it's kind of that whole thing of like, it was more fun for her watching you kind of wrestle with those decisions. And she said, "Yeah, I had a feeling that you were going to pick him. I was just curious." Okay, so Stanzintar is like, she's not like angry or anything. She's just like, "You're no fun," and she kind of gives you a playful shove. Ruffles Quinn's hair and then shoves him onto the ground as well. Says, you are worth nothing to me now. No drink for you. Bye-bye. And just kind of like saunters off back to her ship.
And he's probably like, "Oh, come on, you ruined it."
What the fuck, Durabel?
We can have drink when we get back.
But she had She said it was like from the Moonshay Isles, like some exotic whiskey or something. I don't know.
Look, well, we can figure out how to get your hand.
You owe me. Good, yeah, you owe me for this.
Oh my god. And
I thought I was, maybe in there a little bit as well. No.
Amazing. At that though, Durabel's face, like from casual, just like she just looks completely done with him the moment he says that.
He's just like, what?
There is a part of maybe she says it to him as like an offhanded like underbreath comment, but she goes, "I thought you would have taken care of that in your free time." I thought you would have been doing that in your free time.
Wait,
kind of.
Anyway, so you take some time, gather your things, and you meet up with Christoffen at the kind of where the ice floe is parked up, and it's a big vessel. It's like a proper galley, so it's about 20 foot wide and 130 feet long.
It's a big ship.
Yeah, it's got about it's got roughly 80 crew members. So yeah, it's pretty well equipped, and you can kind of see like people rushing around, and you hear a voice from like up on the deck being like, "Captain's back." The thing comes down, and you can all three of you can enter. He just says, I must say, I am very pleased that you made this decision. I was concerned for a moment there that you had lost all sense and been swept up in that woman's madness.
I think for a moment there I had.
She's got an awful reputation for making very reckless journeys. For all I've heard, her crew are at their wits' end with her. I wasn't about to say that. It's very disrespectful to say that in our meeting, though.
I understand. And I appreciate you having me aboard.
No, well, I appreciate your coin. Have you been on the open waters before?
No.
I see. This will be a very unique experience for you. Fortunately for you, it's not a long journey. So we will take you down past the Mere of Dead Men, and we will make port as best as you can call it outside, and then you can make your way in, as long as the weather doesn't get too bad.
All right.
Just make sure I've got that right. Yeah, we can essentially meet land at the beach. We can go in from there. All right. So with that, he calls out like, "Prepare to set sail!" And the movements get like even faster as everyone kind of starts to prepare to. I can't remember what it is. Is it weigh anchor when you pull it up, or is it?
I'm pretty sure weigh anchor is when you
put it down. Hoist anchor. Oh, hoist anchor. There we go. And like make preparations to leave, and the sails come down, and you can kind of like see them start to fill with air very quickly as the ice flow begins to make its journey down towards the Thunder Cliffs, and you are now aboard the ship, and he gives you kind of like a brief tour around the area, and he introduces you to a human woman who's kind of got short black hair, wearing quite simple sailing clothing, and he goes, "This is Castisha, this is my first mate," and she's just like, "Ahoy."
Hi, I'm Durabel Boulderbrain, and this is my companion Quinn Hightopple.
It's me, it's Quinn. Have you got any alcohol on here? She goes, "It's not for you." He goes, "Well, pleased to have you aboard. I hear you're making a short journey down to the Thundercliffs."
Yeah, business down there, potentially dealing with some cultists.
Right, well, I hope it serves you well. I hope it's a fruitful journey, I suppose, is the best way to say.
Thank you.
Okay. So you take some time. I'm assuming Durabel will probably keep to herself. Is that right? Or what? Do you want to do anything while you're on the ship, or?
I mean, it's funny because I mentioned it, but yeah, Durabel's never been on a boat, or if she has, is like a small boat, like on a lake, like little thing. Like this is like new. Mm-hmm. Big boat, big ocean, big water. So she's probably keeping her herself, but I imagine she's sort of kind of maybe just in a spot where she can kind of like stare out on the horizon a little bit, kind of take in the atmosphere.
Okay. Yeah, so she's just kind of
adjust to being on a boat.
Yeah.
With the wobbling and
kind of getting used to everything and standing around. Okay. Quinn, meanwhile, is just going around and talking to everybody, just like making a nuisance of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few hours of just chilling, Quinn comes up to you and be like, "You haven't moved from this spot for ages. You're right. You feeling a bit seasick?"
No, actually. It's just. Have you ever been on a boat in the ocean?
A couple of times when I was really young, but not really anything that I can remember.
I'm just taking in the just how different it is. It's weird. It's just weird to think that where life's taken me.
Just think it could have been on the Dancing Delight with Moonshay Whiskey. Is all I'm saying.
Look,
anyway,
the next time we need to go out on the ocean, we'll hit her up. How does that sound?
Well, I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway, I've been making friends with the crew. I just thought I found something out that I thought you might want to know. The crew aren't very happy with Big Boy at the moment. For all he was saying about Sanzintar, it seems like he's not very popular either.
Did they express why?
Something to do with he's been turning down a lot of quite lucrative contracts recently. Normally they go, I mean, as the guy said himself, like the ship is equipped to go up north towards like Icewind Dale and all sorts of other places more kind of outside. Like it's built for bigger journeys, but for some reason he's only taking jobs in this area. And he's apparently turned down some quite juicy numbers to do that.
And if Quinn is watching her face while he's explaining this, he'll see that she goes from sort of like staring out at the ocean, listening, and her expression sort of like her brows kind of like furrow, and she sort of her jaw hardens a little bit.
What's up?
Why would a captain who can make so much more money up north stay down here along the coast?
I don't know. Is it maybe he's a pussy? I don't know.
No. I've got a bad feeling about this all now.
Why? Oh shit.
As it sort of clicked for him.
Yeah.
I think
you don't think. But why? He's a sailor. Like what? Storms are bad, aren't they?
They are, as long as they affect everyone else.
What are we gonna do about this?
We're gonna act normal, but keep your guard up. I don't know about the crew. I think if you heard it from the crew, they're probably all right. But keep your eyes out.
They seem like an all right bunch. They're just pissed off.
Keep your eyes on Christophin a little bit, because...
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna do my best to not arouse suspicion on our way. I don't think he'd do anything on the open water, but who knows?
Okay.
He might try something.
Well, it's starting to get late. It's going to be a couple more days before we get to where we need to be, so I guess we've got time to keep an eye on things.
Yeah. Just keep your guard up. I don't.
Oh, that means I've got to stay sober tonight. Fucking hell. All right.
I don't want it to be true, but I didn't want it to be true when I suspected the blacksmith either.
Yeah. Well, we don't know yet, right? This is based on what I've heard from the crew, they could just be grumbling and embellishing or whatever. But yeah, okay, I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, just keep aware of your surroundings. I don't think he will. I feel like if he is going to attempt anything, it's going to be either when we're closer to the cliffs or when we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Okay. Well, we should get some rest.
Yeah.
You've been out here for ages.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you get swept up in the view of it, and it's kind of meditative when you stare at it long enough.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see this more often without crazy storms all the time.
Yeah, I look forward to that as well. And then, yeah, Durabel will get ready to turn in. All
right. On that note, then, we will park it for this week. Quite a role play packed adventure there.
I have thought of something though.
Yeah.
Because remember when you asked me to draw a piece of artwork for this campaign, and you said something. You said something like, maybe have Durabel fighting on a ship because that's something that might happen. While you were talking about going on the ships, my brain was just like, did I just walk into the ship fight that Ken was talking about?
No, you didn't. That was like I knew that there was like potential ship stuff, but it was more to like fit the theme of storms and that. Yeah, you don't know if there's going to be a fight yet.
No, I don't. I was just laughing because my brain was just like, oh yeah, Cam really did mention something about a ship.
Well, if you remember that conversation, I asked you to do something for the show, and you asked me for guidance, and that's what I gave you.
Yeah, and you mentioned
I was happy to let you do whatever, but yeah, when you asked for that, I was like, right, okay, here's an idea. And I figured that would be a cool, like, action-packed... Because if I remember rightly, I was visualizing something different to what you did, but what you did was really good. So I was just like, whatever. Because ultimately it's
because initially the angle I wanted to draw, I couldn't find a picture of a ship at that angle, and I was like, I don't really want to fudge it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the ship isn't on the thumbnail, is it? No, it is just on a ship. So yeah. No, I think knowing me, if I'd been setting you up for that, I probably would have been adamant that the ship was on it. Like I would have pushed for that, if you see what I mean. Like knowing myself, I don't think I would have been able to help myself than to make sure that it was in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot like that.
You're not an idiot.
No, I'm very bad at keeping things to myself.
I am too.
It's one thing that I need to get better about with DMing. I tend to be very loose with information.
Also, I apologize to everyone that I didn't go with the dice choice and I went with my gut instead.
I'm very sad. I had a feeling that you would go with Christoffen because Durabel would go with Christoffen.
Yeah, and that was the thing, was like, because we talked about this before about like making decisions as your character versus as yourself, and I want to make more decisions as in character. So that was one of those moments where I left it to dice, and there was that part of me that was like, yes, I'm so grateful. But
yeah, Emily really wanted to go with the cat.
Yeah, and not just because she was a cat, but because it was funny. But I was just like, no, it was sort of like almost like the Durabel in my head was like, no, I wouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to stay true to character.
And now he might be a cultist.
Yeah, and now I might have just made the wrong decision. Well, oh well.
It ain't that a stinker. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. So as always, thank you guys so much for joining us for our session this week. I certainly hope that if you are watching us on Twitch, that you will do the things, i.e. you will follow and you will join us when we stream next week, which will be the same time. So it's Tuesdays at 7:30 UK time. And otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube, the VODs go up every Friday, and you can like it, you can subscribe to the channel. I really need people to subscribe to the channel because I'm at about 45 at the moment, and I can't get a custom URL until I hit 100, and that's like literally all I'm living for at the moment. I need that custom URL. It's making me so angry that I haven't got one. Because the last time I made a YouTube channel, that wasn't a thing. Like, as long as you verified your account, you could have custom URL. I don't understand why it's behind a wall. It seems really arbitrary. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. On the Twitch side of things, I'll be back on Thursday at about 6:30, 7ish for a bit of a chat. I've got a plan this week. I want to talk about my frustrations as a DM. As in with my style and things that I want to improve on. So I hope that you will join me for that. Otherwise, I do gaming on Sundays. We're currently at the climax of Persona 5 Royal. So yeah, I hope that you. Oh, there'll be a video coming out soon on a Grim exhibition, which is available on DM's Guild right now. So yeah, that's enough rambling from me. Say bye-bye, Emily.
Bye-bye.
She does really good art. You should go on her Twitter and look at her art and be like, oh, hell yeah, I want some of that. And then you can buy it. I'm a salesman, me. Honest. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your support. And we will see you again soon.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.